Worst thing about public transportation is the public. Welcome to the St. Canard Files, a Darkwing Duck podcast. I'm your host, Will Santana, and
I'm Mike Russo, and sometimes they can snap just like that.
Oh, they can, Mike?
I felt that way watching this episode.
I know you're not a fan of this episode at all. Like,
no, I
at
don't.
all.
No, I really don't like this one. Not a favorite by a long shot. Okay. But how are you doing today, Will?
I'm doing good, man. Obviously I missed the last episode because I was in Huntsville for the Huntsville Comic Con, whatever it's called, Pop Culture Con or something. I had a blast. I had a lot of fun. The hotel was nice. The convention, the vendors, oh man, that Sunday I got a lot of great deals on the last day. I don't know why people never show up for the last day when it's empty. That is the day to get the deals from the vendors because they don't want to pack that stuff, Mike. They don't.
No, I know. Maybe no one wants to be there on a Sunday. Sunday, you just want to be home and getting ready for the work week. That could be one of the reasons.
Yeah, but, we kind of stay for like maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours at tops, where we just try to make one last look through the vendors because every time I go, I see something I didn't see the first time, So basically,
yeah.
Like I bought that Scrooge Funko figure. The guy had it listed for 20. I asked him would he go down to 15. He was like, sure. He was like, do you need any other ones? I got a whole bunch of the other. I was like, well, I'm missing Baloo and Louie. He was like, well, tell you what, I see Baloo goes for like 12. I'll throw it to you for 9. And he was like, Louie goes for 10. It's still available on Amazon, $6. All right, throw all three in there.
Oh, these the action figures?
Yeah, the action figure Funko, not the actual Funko Pops.
Ah, I like those.
Yeah, so I got those for a deal, bundle them up and
nice.
Yeah, and then Jim, I don't know if you saw on social media, but I posted the autographs. Me and my buddy Joe got a Jim, which is a lot. One thing I am heartbroken about, I don't know if anybody can spot it. If you take the time and go look at those photos. Jim signed over Katie Lee's name on my NES box, man.
Oh, really?
Yeah, if you take a look at it, it's kind of heartbreaking, but when I tried to stop him, it was too late. He already started over her name. I think he didn't catch it. I don't know if it's his age or the green blended in with the box or something, but he signed over her name, man. It kind of hurts a little bit.
Darkwing Duck would have that ego and would sign over Hunger's name.
Yeah, and Jason Marsden was there as well.
Sorry about Billy West.
Yeah, oh man, that's the one that hurts. Yeah, Jason Marsden signed my Max Goof Chase Funko Pop, and I got Bill an autograph of Jason Marsden as well. He wanted a poster signed by him, so I got that for him. I got your posters complete now.
About time. That was supposed to be complete almost a year ago, but the pandemic ruined all of that.
Yeah, man.
I was supposed to meet Jim.
Yeah,
one day.
Is he not coming to that Altoona? What's it called? The Sci-Fi Valley something?
Are they doing that this year?
I don't know. I didn't keep up with that one.
I haven't looked into it. I might as well look into it this time.
Okay.
And so I'm glad you had fun.
Yeah, definitely had fun, man.
And so we have one piece of new Darkwing merchandise to talk about that kind of came out of nowhere and is already gone. This week, we're recording this the week of, what is it, the 12th? Mm-hmm. And on the Shop Disney website, they offered for D23 members only, limited to 1,500, a 30th anniversary Darkwing Duck pin. It's a picture of Darkwing swinging on a rope from the original Disney Channel theme song, which is a shot we can't see these days. Well, it's actually kind of cool. They pulled it from that. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it was a coincidence or not, but that was kind of neat. The thing went up at, 10 a.m. Eastern time, and it sold out within a day. You could only buy one, and you had to be a D23 member. So I know only like one or two people who got it because they were members. Everybody else I know who got it had to go through eBay. I
Mhm.
know you did, right?
Yeah, I got it on eBay. I think I paid 25 that with shipping. So I paid like what, $13 more, $10 more?
But considering you are only certain people were able to even get it online day
Hmm.
of, you did still did pretty good.
Now, I got a question. I thought it was one per person because the one I got it from, they had four of them and they had a screenshot on their eBay post showing like they had ordered four of them.
Could that person have four different D23 accounts?
I have no idea, but yeah, it was a she because the name was Jessica, so I'm assuming it's a she. But yeah, she posted a screenshot. Of course, her main photo when you first entered was the photo of the pin that was on the D23 website or the shop,
Right.
yeah, the Shop Disney site. But then like the next photo was her screenshot of her computer screen showing that there was four that was ordered.
Interesting. I wonder how that happened. I know a few of our friends were like tried to order more than one and it let them, and then Disney caught it.
Hmm.
I know that happened. Um, but it's still a cool pin, and 1,500 isn't a lot, and I know Disney pin collectors are kind of nuts with that stuff.
Yeah.
So this one may end up shooting up in price, so I'm really glad I got it.
Do you
You know?
think they should get it now if they want it? Because now I don't even see it in the 20s for what I pay for it. I see it like 35 to $50 already.
Yeah, I feel like if you really want it, I mean, by the time this drops, it'll be early May. But if you really want it and you spot it on eBay for a decent price, you really should get it.
Hmm.
Because it'll probably just go up more. Especially
Okay.
once it comes out and people start getting it and posting pictures of it, people will just want it more.
Okay. Oh man, Mike, man, last thing I want to mention, I know we kind of moved on from the Huntsville thing, but
Right.
with Jim Cummings, I was the first person to get a Funko Pez signed by him. He had never seen it.
Oh, cool.
I was the first one to also get the Funkoverse signed, and I was the first one, he said, according to him, that he ever signed the box of the NES game. He said he's only signed the actual cartridge of the game, not the box.
That's interesting. You think
Yeah.
at some point he would have signed the box?
Yeah, maybe nobody has it complete. That's a hardcore Darkwing fan or something.
It's
I,
possible, unless nobody wants to have right on the box.
yeah. Now
Because
the
you can find the game, but finding like a complete mint box is hard. So some people might
mhm,
not want them to write on the box. It's
yeah.
possible.
So yeah, the Funko Pez and Funkoverse, I will believe that is the first one because he hasn't done any cons since those two came out. So
Right, right.
so that was kind of cool. The first ones he saw.
It's nice he's doing them, so it shows me he'll be around again, so I haven't missed my chance. I saw he was wearing a face shield.
Yeah, he was wearing the face shield. You were allowed to take photos with him. You were allowed to take off the mask. Jason Marsden would not allow you to stand next to him. He was kind of behind the table, but he would have it to where the phone would show it at an angle where he was still in the photo.
Different people have different feelings about this kind of thing, so
Yeah.
it's understandable.
Oh yeah. The Power Ranger Jason David Frank. I'm sorry if I screwed that up, Power Ranger fans, but he wouldn't even allow you to take off the mask.
Yeah, I can, everyone's got their own feelings.
Hmm.
Things are getting better. I'm getting my second COVID vaccination tomorrow, so more and more people are doing it. So
Hmm.
hopefully soon things will get a little bit back to normal. I hope so.
Okay. Well, one last thing before we move on to this episode, because I know Mike's is gonna blow by this episode because he doesn't want to go to sleep talking about it. Um, you and Owen did Jailbird last week. So that's my goodbye to Cracker Jack and Bushroot, right?
Liquidator too.
And Liquidator, yeah. So
Yeah.
that's what, three of them out of the Fearsome Five we're done with.
Yeah. Are done.
Okay, yeah. So goodbye to my Quacker Jack. I love you. I miss you already. You my dog for life. As far
And
as that
it's
episode,
it's gonna break your heart to see the Time Top come back twice next season without him in it.
Yeah, without him in it. I would probably have given that episode a score of 4. I haven't listened to what you and Owen gave it yet, but I would give it a 4. I like that episode. It's not my favorite. It's not a tier 1 for me, but
It's
I do.
fun.
Yeah, it's definitely fun, and to see Quackerjack mention he actually had an ability, a power. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, his wackiness. Yeah, it's cool.
And I know that's our one of our friends, Dom. That's his favorite episode. Like that's
A
his
lot
number
of
one.
people like it.
Hmm.
It's
Oh,
popular.
yeah.
But you know what a lot of people don't like?
What's that?
Dirtysomething.
Oh yeah. So obviously Mike just now announced what episode he doesn't want to talk about.
You know, not that I don't want to talk about it, I just don't like it. Like, I really think this one, out of all the Disney Afternoon episodes, this is my least favorite.
Okay.
That's it. Now, I could tolerate Apes of Wrath, episodes like that. Even Quack of Ages, I can find things to like about them or forgive them for certain things. I mean, at least Quack of Ages had Quackerjack in it. And
Mhm.
Apes of Wrath was an early one, so I can say, it's early, it's fine. This one has no excuse.
Mhm.
This one's just bad, and I don't like it.
All right. Well, now that Mike's mentioned it, let's go ahead and get into our production air day order, Mike.
Okay, so I don't have an air date. Like I said, I don't have an air date for the last 4 or 5 episodes that aired. Obviously mid to late May of 1992. This, in terms of episode number, is episode 78. So that's it.
Mm.
That's the bottom as far as the first production run goes. Episode 78, rock bottom. That suits this episode. By the way, the title was based, of course, on the 87 drama series 30-something.
I've heard of it, but never seen it though.
Yeah, the episode has nothing to do with that show, though. It just takes the title.
Okay.
Otherwise, that's it. Which a series that ended before this even aired. So that's funny how they even used it. Anyway, our story editor is Gordon Bresak. We mentioned him when he wrote Slime OK, You're OK, which was an episode I don't think we loved. Remember that one?
Mm-hmm.
He only was story editor on 2 episodes. This one and Revenge of the Return of the Brain Teasers 2. So, not the Darkwing Duck episodes I would put on my resume.
Yeah.
And as far as writers go, we have 2 brand new people, a writing team who only did this one episode. I hope I don't butcher the first one's name. Katie Kuch, Kuch. I'm not sure how I'm pronouncing that. And Cheryl Scarborough. Only Darkwing Duck episode. Not a really big career. Just a handful of random things from the early 80s to the early 90s. Stuff like Heathcliff, Scrappy Doo, Dino Riders, New Kids on the Block, the cartoon show. Yeah, a lot of really random stuff. I don't think I would touch with a 10-foot pole today. I would never go back and watch any of that stuff. So this is their only Darkwing show. Their only Disney anything, apparently. I mean, it's competent, but there's a lot about the episode I don't like. And it's not just the writing. This episode's a mess. Animation, it's Sun Wu, and even they're phoning it in. What do you think?
Yeah, nothing popped to me on this episode. Nothing at all.
Because they were great on Quiverwing and Star is Scorned. We agreed with that. But this one, the animation is so bland. It's like early first season. That's how bland it is.
Yeah.
Everything seems so phoned in. As a matter of fact, like, this episode feels like what ABC season 2 is going to be for me. Bringing back a villain nobody asked to come back, a new villain nobody cares about, just kind of indifferent writing and very bland animation. This is kind of, to me at least, my opinion, what we're in store for a lot of season 2. A few gems in that season, but this feels very indicative of what we're getting next season. I just don't like it. I hate the new character. But we'll mention her when she shows up. Do you want to just get started with the plot?
Yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. We got Drake. He's in Gosalyn's room, and he's surprisingly shocked on how clean her room is.
Spotless.
Yeah, it's spotless. And, she comes up and she's reminding Drake of a toy that he promised her. Well, she requested the toy, but he offered to only get it if she cleaned the room up, right?
Yeah, Mega Blasting Mutants of Death.
Yeah, and then she offers him to sign a contract or something. But wouldn't that was a little weird to me that she had him sign the contract after she cleaned the room instead of before it.
Maybe isn't he ordering the game for her?
Okay,
Isn't that what he's doing?
Okay.
Yeah, he's ordering the game for her, and he goes to sit against her bed, and it turns out that entire corner of her room is just a screen, a painting of her bedroom. She could have spent less time just cleaning the whole room herself and not wasted time doing this. Yeah. She's putting her efforts into the wrong thing.
Yeah, it's kind of funny too, because she said, "Didn't I just clean my room like a year or two ago?"
Yeah, and the paint on the screen comes off on Drake's butt, and he realizes she tricked him. So yeah, he makes her clean the room.
Yeah, and then he's downstairs. He has headphones on because she's making a lot of noise while cleaning her room, and LP shows up. He's like freaking out.
Yeah, but Drake has to just calm him down. He just tells him Gaza's cleaning her room, nothing to worry about. Mm-hmm. And doesn't Launchpad say it's worse than I thought?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's villain time.
Yeah.
Because this episode, just when we thought we would never see Ammonia Pine ever again, we thought we were over her, she was gone, someone had the bright idea to bring her back, and here she is.
Yeah, but she got a new outfit on this time, and it's like a jumpsuit, and she got new gadgets and everything.
She's got like detergent bottles on her shoulders. She has like stuff on, like a belt around her. She looks like a mop and glow Ghostbuster. And yeah. I really think the reason why they changed her outfit is to better contrast her with her sister.
Yeah, who's gonna pop up in a little bit.
Yeah. So Pine gets a phone call from Fowl. We only see them in the very beginning here. Mm-hmm. We don't see them again. Just in this one opening scene. They're gonna, what is the name of it? It's Emergency Extortion Plan 23B. Yeah. And she flips out without even realizing what it is. Mm-hmm. Because it's so serious, they want to pair her with a partner.
Yeah, she's freaking out over that because I think she's referencing the last episode with Steelbeak, isn't it? Is that what it is?
Probably, because that one didn't go very well.
Yeah. And she's paired off with her sister, Ample.
Who's her sister?
Ample Grime, right?
Ample Grime. Oh, this is my least favorite Darkwing Duck villain. I say that without any fear that something's gonna come along later and contradict me. This is my least favorite Darkwing Duck villain. I can't stand Ample Grime.
And she's the complete opposite of Ammonia. She's filthy, she's dirty, and she attacks with dirtiness.
Yeah, she has an apple core as a bow tie, a dirty bowl in her head. She's filthy. You could tell she's her sister. There's a family resemblance.
Oh, yeah.
Otherwise, she's just gross. And the whole shtick with her is that she's a pig. I mean, not literally a pig, but she's disgusting.
Who's she voiced by, Mike?
She's voiced by an actress named Ellen Gerstel. Mm-hmm. Not much to say about her. Mostly early 80s stuff. Again, a lot of random stuff that I would never go back to now. Visionaries, Gem and the Holograms, mm-hmm. Pup Named Scooby-Doo, which is decent. A couple of episodes of Tailspin.
Oh, okay.
So not a complete washout there as far as what she's done, but nothing major. Nothing major at all. But again, the voice is just a little obnoxious, and basically all these two characters do the entire episode is argue with each other. Oh, why are you always so clean? Why are you so dirty? The whole time. That's all it is. Childish bickering from the two of them. Very easy gunk and cleaning jokes, and they have a very toxic relationship, the two of them.
Yeah. Now, before we move on to Gauze, because we go back to her room, is this the last time we see High Command of Fowl?
No.
Okay, we see them again?
They show up in Steerminator.
Oh, that's right. Okay. All right, so yeah, we get back to Gauze. She's in her room, and Honker shows up.
This is the last appearance of Honker this season.
Okay.
We get a few more times of him next season, but we're not getting too much more Honker as the series starts to wrap up. But I'm happy he's in this one.
Mm-hmm.
What's Honker do?
He's trying to get in her room, but he knocks everything over, and she tells him to take out the trash, but there's like one thing to take out.
It's a can, a single can.
Yeah, and then he comes up with the recommendation. He suggests to her that she should recycle her Cuckoo Cola, right?
Yes.
Cuckoo Cola. Okay, yeah.
Still using Cuckoo Cola, telling her that recycling facilities pay fairly well. And so Gosalyn has this huge pile of cans in the corner of her room, and then pulls out more bottles of soda and tells Honker to start drinking.
Yeah. And then we get a cutscene. We get Ammonia and Ample, and they're going over the blueprints of the 23B.
Oh, I do visually. This is the one part of the episode I like. The blueprints come to life as they show how the machine they're going to build works.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like rough animation, like a rough pencil test animation. I do kind of like. It's kind of clever. The machine they're going to build is going to splatter people with gunk to stick them to the floor, and then turn a vacuum on them to suck up all their valuables.
Yeah.
That's Plan 23B.
Yeah. And then we get another cutscene. It goes back to Gosalyn and Honk.
This episode really jumps back and forth the locations a lot.
Yeah, and they're floating in the air.
I'm guessing too much carbonation.
Yeah, and while they're floating in the air, they burp outside of the room, so now they're floating outside, and Drake's alarm goes off.
There is a funny line from Drake. He's like, "Never mind what the Coca-Cola went Launchpad." Launchpad must be looking for soda.
Yeah.
The Drat comes back. The Darkwing remote alarm terminal from Slime OK You're OK. They bring it back in this episode.
It still doesn't work though, Mike.
No, it can't tell him whether the robbery that they have to go to is taking place at the Rubber Works or the Mousetrap Factory. So they have to go to both.
Yeah.
Yeah, this thing's a piece of garbage.
Yeah, so then we get another cutscene. It goes back to Ammonia and Ample, and they're pulling a heist, but they're stealing hoses.
Yeah, part of their plan involves stealing rubber hoses. There's a shot of Ample Grime with her sock off, and she's airing it out. And it's just, things you tend to gross me out, but I feel like, yeah, that's kind of gross. And, because she's just wallowing in her own filth, this character. But Darkwing shows up.
You get an entrance, right?
He gets an entrance. I am the Raspberry Siege. You can't flush out. And when the smoke clears, it's revealed they went to the Mousetrap Factory first, and there were mousetraps all over them.
Yeah, and then Ample, she uses lice on them or something. Was it lice?
Lice. I mean, first they hit them with saran wrap and gunk, which comes right off, but then she attacks them with lice.
Okay. Yeah, and she attacks them with lice, and they're itching and scratching, and Ample and Ammonia, they get out of there. They make their break.
Okay, so this next few minutes of the episode has some really terrible jump edits where it starts in the house, goes to the bridge, goes to the house, and goes back to the bridge, when the entire scene could have taken place in one location. It's some of the worst editing in any Darkwing episode. Like, one particular shot I'll mention always bothered me. But first they're at the house. Drake and Launchpad are trying to figure out what the sisters are after. And Launchpad's coming up with all these crazy ideas, and Drake is shooting them down. Then we go to the bridge. I mean, the whole scene could have taken place at the bridge. I don't know why they're at the house first. But later that night, they're still at the bridge. Launchpad's still making guesses, including they're going to drink all the soda in St. Canard, which is a callback to what Gosalyn and Honker did. And then Gosalyn shows up, and what does Gosalyn start doing? Darkwing is so preoccupied, he doesn't notice what she's about to do. What does she do?
She takes everything, the rat catcher, the gas gun, anything she can get her hands on, she's recycling.
Yeah. And as they're doing that, Launchpad absolutely nails the plot. He says They're stealing all these things to build a machine that'll stick people to the ground while they rob them blind. And he has it completely right. You know what? It's the only 2 scenes in this episode are really funny. This is one of them. And Darkwing's like, nah. He's like, no way. Like, I did enjoy that. That was funny how Launchpad absolutely nailed it. But then this is the really bad edit I was talking about. All of a sudden, we cut to Drake running down the stairs in the house to go to the Drat.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
so they're in the bridge, and then all of a sudden he's running down the stairs as Drake in the house.
Yeah.
What did we miss?
I guess we missed a lot.
We missed a lot. They go right from the bridge to the house. He goes to the Drat, and there's nothing there. The Drat is missing. So obviously Gosalyn recycled it.
Mm-hmm.
So they grab the radio, which tells them the museum's being robbed. So they go back to the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
I don't know.
They should have done all of this in the bridge.
Yeah.
So what happens? What happens next while they're there?
The rat catcher is missing. The statue's missing too.
They can't hit it to go back to the bridge. They still get back there, but luckily the Thunderquack it looks like it's fine. They get into Thunderquack. Launchpad tries to start it, but what's missing?
The engine.
So they have to take the Quack Cycle. What's the Quack Cycle?
A tricycle.
Hey, whatever works.
Yeah.
So they go to the museum where the sisters are stealing a diamond.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, Ample Grime's getting mud prints all over the paintings. Again, she's gross. And they're complaining with each other. They're fighting. Darkwing comes in on the tricycle. He tries to do an entrance line, which is, I am the squeaky brakes that... Oh, nuts. Because obviously the tricycle has no brakes.
Yeah.
So what happens next?
They get tied up.
Yes.
Yeah, they get tied up by Ample, and then Ammonia shoots like a bubble at them, like a cleaning bubble.
We've seen this before.
Yeah.
Wow, deja vu.
Mm-hmm.
Because Darkwing doesn't have his gas gun, because Gosalyn recycled that too.
Yeah.
And then when Darkwing realizes it. Like, that's when Darkwing, really realizes it's Gosalyn's fault.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, they're floating in the air in the bubble, and I forgot what LP said, but he said something about some sort of art, and then they looked up, and then boom, the bubble pops.
Yeah, Launchpad asked Darkwing if he goes for modern art, and Darkwing says, frankly, I've never seen the point. And Launchpad says, you will, and the sharp sculpture pops the bubble. They're caught halfway down by another sculpture, and Launchpad bites Darkwing's foot, and he's so stupid because Darkwing tells Launchpad not to move a muscle, but Launchpad has Darkwing's foot in his mouth. He's like, no, I won't move a muscle, and they fall.
Yeah.
Because of course they do.
Yeah.
So they go back to the bridge again.
Mm-hmm.
This is when the Thunderquack is missing the engine, not before. Okay. I messed up. Either way, they have no transportation.
Mm-hmm.
No engine for the Thunderquack, no rat catcher, no nothing, including Darkwing's comic book collection.
Yeah.
That's what really makes him mad.
Mm-hmm. So now they got to take public transportation.
Yeah, humiliating for Darkwing.
Yeah.
I like the guy in the background. He goes, "Hey, isn't that Darkwing Duck guy?"
Do you know who voiced him or Fowl at the beginning?
I don't know who voiced Fowl, but that guy sounds like Jim.
Okay, and then the old lady on the bus was the same lady who does Ammonia Pine, right?
I think so.
Yeah, it sounded just like her to me.
Did you notice the characters sitting on the bus have all appeared before?
Yeah.
Obviously, we both spotted Agent Dog from Darkwing Squad was sitting there.
Yeah.
Remember the Lace and Doily Society from Days of Blunder?
Mm-hmm.
The lady from there, and the lady who was Gosalyn's guidance counselor in Film Flam, who's going to be Glue Gal in Mutancy on the Bouncy, is also sitting there. So a bunch of characters that I recognized right away.
Mm-hmm.
But Darkwing tries to take a seat. The old lady smacks him in the face with her purse to get him to leave the spot. So they come to the docks, and they see two hideouts. One's clean, one's dirty. Wow, I wonder who's hiding out there.
Yeah, the gruesome twosome.
Ammonia Pine still has her detergent bottle truck from her other two appearances. I know
Mhm.
she was driving it in the second one. What was it? Cleanliness is next to badliness. Did she have it in Dirty Money?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
At least they bring it back in this episode.
Yeah.
So the Darkwing and Launchpad get run over. The villains leave, and then for absolutely no reason, Gosalyn and Honker randomly walk past them.
Yeah.
Like Darkwing did tell Gosalyn to go and get their stuff. So they're
Mhm.
wandering around trying to do that. They show Darkwing they've gotten money from recycling, $1.57.
Not much.
All of Darkwing's stuff. So he's mad. He tells him to get lost, go get his stuff back. So they leave.
Yep. And they ride the public transportation again.
Yep. And as they're Darkwing's still trying to figure out the plan. And really randomly, like Launchpad's like, they all ended up at the dump. And Darkwing is like, well, everything ends up at the dump. And Launchpad says, no, they all ended up at the dump. And it turns out the villains and the kids are all at the dump at the same time.
Yep. All of them.
All of them. Just randomly, you see the villains go in one entrance and the kids go in the other at the exact same time. How convenient.
Yeah. And Ample's like dirtying everything up, and Ammonia's cleaning everything up. And they get into a battle.
Yeah, because the kids show up and they squirt the kids and the kids get stuck to the ground. But then Darkwing and Launchpad show up on a conveyor belt and they get gunked and they get stuck to it. And the villains leave because they're prepared to feed the good guys into a car crusher.
Yeah, this is the first time we see the 23B in action, right?
Yes, this is what they use to gunk up the kids in the Darkwing and Launchpad. The other scene, another scene that makes me laugh is Launchpad says, he's like, what can we say? He thinks he's gonna die, and Darkwing looks over. He goes, a spatula, and Launchpad goes, spatula to you too, old buddy. Huh? Dumb, but I laugh. Whatever. So So Darkwing takes the spatula, saves everybody by sticking it under their feet, and then what happens? Will
he looks for the spatula.
Yeah, he finds a spatula and he saves everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And then they don't know what to do because they have no tech. They can't go after the villains.
Mm-hmm.
But what do they start finding?
They start finding pieces of the rat catcher.
Yeah, and Darkwing finally snaps when Honker comes up with the gas gun and it's in pieces.
Yeah, he says it needs to be assembled.
Yeah, so Darkwing loses it and starts cackling and laughing and starts to lose his mind. And the other scene I do like is Launchpad's like, yup, sometimes they can snap just like that. But
and then we get a new vehicle.
Yeah, they take all the junk they can find and they build a new vehicle. Do you remember what Darkwing calls it?
The Nutcracker, right?
Yes. When Darkwing says we have everything we need right here, he picks up a toilet seat. And Gosalyn's like, but he doesn't have everything he needs right here, and points to her head.
Yeah, and then go ahead.
Oh no, we get our the big useful moment for Honker. The machine won't start, so Honker, says you have to jump start it, and Darkwing won't let him. But when he does, he gets electrocuted. So it's a good thing Honker didn't do that.
Yeah. And then we go back to Ample and Ammonia, and Ample begins target practice on the citizens in St. Canard.
Right, they get a couple of people, but it doesn't last long before the good guys show up.
Yeah.
So they shoot. Sorry. Well, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say while this is happening, Ample and Ammonia are arguing again.
It's all they do.
Yeah, it's like they finally reach their boiling point where they're fed up with each other.
Yeah, exactly. And when the good guys show up, they squirt dishwashing liquid at Grime to clean her off, and they throw balloons at the machine, which clogs up the vents and makes the bad pop and gets Ammonia Pine dirty. And the two of them finally have it out. Mm-hmm. They're sick of each other. And they're like, Grime's putting dirt in Ammonia's face, and they're arguing.
Yeah. Did you notice when the thing popped, the 23B popped? Did you notice Ammonia was back in her normal clothes?
Yeah, for just that one shot, she's in the
Mhm.
background and she sits up and she's wearing her old cleaning lady clothes.
Yeah, I barely caught it, man. I was like, I had to rewind it real quick. I was like, was she wearing her normal clothes weapon or that little jumpsuit?
I don't think I ever caught it before because my copy wasn't all that great, but finally watching it on Disney Plus, I finally noticed it. This was the first time I saw it.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's it. They're defeated. This is, and it's also, I'll point out, this is our last, actual Foul episode. We're done now with Foul. They come back, the beginning of Steerminator, but in terms of them getting the entire plot, that's it for Foul.
Okay. And then Goss returns everything from the recycling stuff, and Drake actually buys her the video game.
Yeah, he tells her she forgot something. She thinks she forgot to kiss him, but he's like, no. And then the screen widens. It turns out the TV set was recycled. The inside of it was recycled, so there's nothing to watch the TV on. Yeah. So Gosalyn can't play her game. So she has a game, but nothing to do with it.
And the episode ends.
And that's it. Yeah, that's Dirty Something, man. That's one of my very least favorite Darkwing Duck episodes. I watched it twice. Once to watch it, once to take notes, and that second time was a grind.
All right, so Mike, man, let's get into these scores, man. I know people want to hear your scores on this episode.
I'll build to it. Please go first.
Okay, you want me to go first?
Yeah.
I still hate Apes of Wrath more. This one I'm not gonna lie, I was struggling, dude. I was really struggling, but I don't hate it as much as Apes of Wrath. I think I gave Apes of Wrath a 0.5. I can't remember. So I'm going to give this one a 0.7.
Okay. You and the 0.5s, 0.7s, infinities.
All right, you go ahead, Mike.
Although when Owen rated Jailbird, I think when he rated Mega Negaduck, he did 25, 5 times 5, which was really clever last week. That was super clever. Me, you know what? I'm just gonna give this a flat out 0. I think it's just a complete bomb. Mm-hmm. Again, Apes of Wrath I'll forgive because it was super early and they were still working out the show, and I have a lot of nostalgia for that one because it aired the first week. You kind of always have nostalgia for that first week of shows, Mm-hmm. But this one doesn't have any excuse for being as bad as it is.
So you give Apes of Wrath a little bit of a leeway. Give it a little bit of a pass.
I have to because it's so early. It's just like, I get it. It's fine. It's not great, but you guys are still figuring it out. Yeah. This one is just a mess. I mean, I don't like Ammonia Pine. Every time she appears, she gets worse. Mm-hmm. And I just can't stand Ample Grime. Like the whole shtick with the two of them fighting over who's clean, who's dirty. And I always wanted to do this to you. I always wanted to do this to you. It's just immature, very lazy writing. I don't like it. It doesn't there really aren't very many funny scenes. The editing is really bad.
Yeah.
The characters are written okay, but even the animation, like I said at the beginning of the episode, it's just very bland for Sun Wu.
Okay.
Everything is being phoned in.
I guess the only thing I do like about this episode is just Darkwing's frustration with Gosalyn as she's recycling everything, and he just keeps noticing things are like disappearing or it's not intact, But
it takes him forever to act on it.
Yeah, it does. I agree with you.
He keeps letting her do it.
I agree with you. This is a bad episode.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm saying he doesn't notice she's doing it. He catches on eventually, but then lets it keep happening. He seems to forget what she's doing because when they go back to the bridge for the third time, he's like, "We've been robbed," but she's taking all your stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, it takes him almost a whole episode to finally say something to her. Mm-hmm. And it's like he's letting her get away with it. And it makes him seem like he's totally incompetent. But also, shouldn't Gosalyn know better than this?
Yeah, but of course she doesn't.
But she recycles the gas gun and the engine of the rat. I get the chemistry set and the statue maybe, but the engine of the rat of the Thunderquack and the gas gun. And Honker lets her do it. He doesn't even say a word. He complains once that Darkwing would have a fit if she recycled the rat catcher, and then doesn't complain anymore. You think Honker even would say, Gosalyn, this isn't right. What are you doing?
Yeah.
So even Honker is kind of out of character. I'm sorry. Go on.
No, I was just going to say the only thing for me why I just don't like Apes of Wrath is because there's nothing original about that episode, where we've seen it in DuckTales. We've seen it before, the whole monkey stuff and apes and gorillas. It's just, I don't know. I just don't like that episode. To me, that's just the worst one. This one is, I'm not trying to sugarcoat it or trying to upgrade
no, I get it.
Yeah, it's not good at all. This is a bad episode, but Apes of Wrath is still the worst to me.
Now we're gonna rate Ample Grime.
Oh God, you didn't tell me that.
We have to. She's a new villain.
Okay.
Do you want me to go first? So you have
I already know your score, man. It's a 0.
Yeah, it's a 0. I can't stand her. I mean, I think she's definitely my least favorite. I didn't like Trench Rot, but at least he came in armed. He was a threat.
She had a 10-second moment for me where she was okay because she contradicts Ammonia. She's like the bipolar opposite. So for 10 seconds, I thought that was funny. But that 10 seconds, I don't even know if it's 10 seconds, Mike. Maybe 3 seconds. and then it kind of wears off. So she's getting a 0, man. She's getting a 0.
Like the second she walks into the scene and like she comes out of the shadows and you see how she's drawn and you see what her design looks like, you know exactly what you're getting for the whole half an hour.
Yeah, and like I said, at first, like the first second I see her, I laugh because I know she's the bipolar opposite. But then it's like, okay, this is not going to last long, They
go as far as even having her do the armpit farts, which that's just dumb. Yeah. So yeah, a 0.
Okay. 0 for me too. All right, Mike. So that's the Dirtysomething. What episode we got next?
Goodbye, Dirtysomething.
What episode we got next?
A better episode. I mean, not one of the greats, but it's decent. Kung Fooled.
Yeah, Kung Fu's cool. It's not a great episode. It's decent.
Yeah, they end up in China. Darkwing meets his old master. Some decent stuff. Okay.
Mike, for the people tuning in for the first time, where can they find us?
We are lucky enough to be on all podcast apps, including Stitcher, Spotify, Google, iTunes, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, iHeartRadio, Pandora, and all sorts of apps I can't even remember because there's so many of them. We're also on YouTube. We got some cool stuff there. If you're relatively new to our channel, you can check that out. We got a lot of great videos. Will, shout outs.
I'm only going to give one shout out, and it's to one of our usual, Mr. Stan Lund. Appreciate it, Stan. Stan has taken over our Twitter account because, Owen has been so busy with his film projects and school and stuff. So Stan now runs our Reddit page. We are on Reddit and on Twitter. He's got the Twitter page now active.
Yeah, the Reddit, it also archives a lot of our old stuff. So if you haven't seen a lot of our old Facebook posts, he's archived that on the Reddit page.
Yeah, so we got the Reddit page going and Twitter page. So shout out to Stan and anybody who's tuning in for the first time. I've noticed we're getting a lot of younger people from the new DuckTales series joining us. So welcome, everybody.
At what point do we stop calling it the new DuckTales, considering it's over?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
At what point? Like, everyone still calls it that, but at what point is it not the new DuckTales? Like, how much time has to pass before you have to figure out a different way to refer to it?
Yeah. Well, I still got to finish watching it.
You never watched the last episode yet, right?
No, I still got to finish like 3 or 4 episodes.
Oh, I'm actually looking forward to your opinion on those final episodes.
Okay, I'll try to get into it, man. I'm pretty much free after Saturday lunchtime. I'll be free, so maybe I'll get into it. We'll see.
Okay. Last one's a good one.
All right. So that's it for this episode, y'all. Y'all make sure y'all tune in next week. Maybe Mike will be a lot happier.
Don't worry about it. I will.
All right. Good night, everybody, and stay dangerous.
Have a good one.